was a mean king named King Herod, and he thought he would put Peter in prison because it had made the crowd so happy when he had put a man named James in prison. He thought, they're preaching about Jesus. I don't like this. The crowds like it when I put them in prison, so I'm going to do that. Peter was put into prison, and his hands were shackled. Can you say shackled?
Shackled.
They were put together with chains, and his ankles were, we didn't even try to do ankles, and he had soldiers on each side of him who were chained to him. So I'm not going to chain you to soldiers, but can you imagine? Your wrists are shackled, your ankles are shackled with heavy iron clasps. And then you're connected to a guard on each side of you. Well, do you think Peter was sitting in prison going, I'm so scared? No, Peter was asleep in prison. Even though there were guards, even though he was chained to a guard, he was sleeping soundly. He was going to go in front of a judge the next day, the very next day, and the judge would have the power to say, I'm going to kill you. But Peter is still sleeping soundly, even though he's chained, even though a mean king can kill him, he's sleeping. Well, while he was in prison, there were people in a house praying for Peter. They were praying that God would set him free from prison. They were asking God to release him or let him get out of prison. They were somewhere else praying, and while they were praying, an angel suddenly appeared, and there was a bright light. Sometimes if there's a bright light, I wake up. But Peter didn't even wake up with a bright light. The angel had to nudge him, shake him, and say, wake up, Peter. He was sleeping that soundly. So even with a bright light, even with the angel shaking, he finally woke up, and the angel said, put on your coat, put on your shoes, and we're going out of here. So Peter did that. He put on his coat and his shoes, and the prison door opened, and he and the angel walked down the street. And Peter thought he was in a dream. He thought he was imagining this. But it says in the Bible that they passed the first guards, they passed the second guards, they came to the iron gate leading to the city. And the iron gate was shut and locked at night, but it just opened by itself, and they went through the gate. And when they walked through, the angel suddenly just disappeared. And Peter thought, this isn't a dream. He was out of prison, and he knew that his friends would be at someone's house. So he kept walking. His friends, what were they doing?
Praying for him.
They were praying for him. And he went to the house, and he knocked on the door, and a girl named Rhoda came to the door. And she said, it's Peter! And she was so excited, she just ran back in the house and left him outside. And she went in and told all the crowd there, Peter's at the door. And they didn't believe her. They said, you're seeing things. And Peter's still standing there knocking. And finally they go back and let Peter in. And then they thank God for answering their prayers, for sparing Peter's life, for letting him get out of prison. Isn't that wonderful?
Yes.
And you know what? What do you think the judge thought the next morning when he's ready to see that prisoner? And the prisoner's not there. And the guards don't know what happened. Do you think there was a commotion, a ruckus? Do you know those words? There was chaos. They were so confused. They were so angry and upset. And the judge said, I want you to kill all those guards. So they were executed, and Peter went free. Now, the mean king's name was what? King Herod. And he had put this man in prison. What was his name? Peter. And had Peter done anything wrong?
No.
What did he do?
Nothing.
What did he do that the king didn't like?
Praise God.
He praised God, and he talked about Jesus. He didn't do anything wrong, but they put him in those iron, what do you have on your wrists? Chains or shackles? Shackles, okay. Peter thought that he was in he didn't think it was really happening. He thought maybe it was a dream. But when the angel took him all the way out of the city, and the gate did what? The city gate opened all by itself. Peter said, now I know without a doubt that the Lord has sent his angel and rescued me. Say that with me. Now I know without a doubt that the Lord has sent his angel and rescued me. Wasn't that good of God to do that? To send an angel to rescue him? Do you think when you're in some situation that's sad or hard, God sees you? Do you think God sees you like he saw Peter?
Yes.
He does.
He's watching
He does.
us right now.
He sees when you're going through a hard time, and he will always do what's best. Who kept your shackles on the whole time?
Me. I haven't even broken it.
Who didn't break it at all? Trinity didn't? Quentin didn't?
I didn't.
Did Amaya's break?
No.
I think
Yes.
once. And you're